Right, we are live. Welcome to the node.js security working group meeting. I think it's the last one from July. So before I start, does anybody have any announcement? I don't think so. Let me check one thing here. Yeah, that should be fine. Yes, oh good. So we go, as usual, we go to our vulnerability review plus the OpenSSF monitor review. I know that Michael has some thoughts on the vulnerability review.
Right, yeah. So basically, unfortunately, it's broken. About 10 days ago, the request started timing out. I did look at the client, and there's an issue in the client that's like, actually, it's not the client. I tried updating the client to the latest version, but NVD has basically acknowledged that there's a problem with their API, and they're working on it. So I'm periodically watching that. I get the email every day that says the action failed. So I periodically look and see, like, did that issue get resolved and it should be passing, or is it, so anyway, long way of saying it's broken, but hopefully it'll fix itself at some point.
Yeah, I just saw the update. And what about the OpenSSL scorecard?
Yeah, for the OpenSSF scorecard, in general, overall, there are no special differences. You have the link to the comment. I included also the Node.js add-on API, because the last time I forgot to include it on the selected list. If you check it out, the delta scoring, you will see that there is an increase of 0.7 points in the Node.js add-on API, but this is actually an error because the branch protection calculation was not done properly. So we got a -1, which meaning like it cannot actually perform the check. So it's somehow raising the total score. Well, should be not. So I will check it out this with Laurent and with Teb as well, just to see this kind of edge cases. But I assume it's the same as before. So
it should be higher because we went through and we did an analysis of what it was telling us, and we actually changed a bunch of things. So I did, like, we turned on branch protection, we turned on a bunch of stuff that should have bumped up the score.
Okay. Yeah, I will check it out maybe with a different commit to see if I can get the differences there and see. But yeah, I can see some progression. So for example, for the static analysis and so on, there are more commit checked. But yeah, there are a lot of things that I think is progressively until we get the full points. But yeah, like I can check it out.
We turned on CodeQL. We basically managed to land the PR that was like created by Step Security to change a bunch of things, and then we looked at the remaining things. And so anyway, just to say it should be going up. If it's not, there's something wrong.
Okay. So maybe that's playing why it's going up, and even we see like a decrease in branch protection because a -1 because it cannot really read the changes. I don't know, maybe it's a permission thing. So yeah, I will check it out and update. Also, side note, there is going to be a new version of the visualizer tool. So right now, when you have to see the differences between previous record and new record, you have this drop-down thing. So you can see like a lot of information there. Sometimes it's hard to follow. So there's going to be a new view, like more like a Git conflict view. So you can see like Git if. So you can see differences between one report and the other easily. So as soon as it's ready, I will share with the team. So you can be the first one trying it out.
There is one thing I'm looking to I'm looking actually to this link I will send in the chat. Okay, that's a lot. Let me share my screen. I think it's better.
Yep.
Okay, I just clicked in the details of score delta.
Yep.
And here is showing branch protection -1. I don't think, is it possible?
Yeah, that -1, when we see -1 in the scoring, is because it has some kind of technical error. So for example, in this case, if you check out like I think it's maybe in the reasoning. So there is like internal error during whatever. So that was the return of the API. So I think they have some issues with the branch protection. Also, you see in other reports. So maybe just actually they have some issues with the last release to get that information. So when we see a -1, it's because it's a technical error, like a 500 or something, So we might change this to a question mark in the next release, so it's more obvious, for the when you see the report.
Yeah, because I think that's something I just turned on last week, or like recently. It was like, hey, here's a gap. Okay, we turn on brand protection. So maybe I did something wrong, but like, yeah.
It should be. It's part of how they are collecting the data. No, not because. Yeah, I think it's not in our roof the problem. So, yeah, I will monitor it, and if I see that this is not working properly, I will open an issue and discuss with Lauren to see if there is any problem now with the digestion of that part.
Sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, and if there's anything you see that like, oh, wait a sec, we're not doing right, let me know and I'll take a look.
Sure.
Okay, so moving on to the issue 1037. Basically is the auditing build process for dependence. I don't think we have updates for that. I think we
there's no update. I think we should, like, we need to have sort of a discussion, a bigger discussion, but maybe we don't have enough people here this week to do it. If we don't get to it beforehand, this would be a good topic for the collaborator summit in terms of like the new initiatives, right? Or maybe just like, I know you planned a discussion of the next initiatives, that I think that should be part of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we have all agreed that this probably is the next initiative for this working group. We just need to go in details, like how can we do that? What's the best approach, and so on, implementation details.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, the next one is the CAI best practices for Node.js project. Ulysses?
Yeah, I think there will be some discussion offline for the silver one. Let's check it out. I think was let me say, was missing one issue to be open. I see also some discussions on Slack with Jordan, who provides some additional links to explore some of the questions opened, but I think I didn't paste it here, so it might be tricky to follow up. But yeah, let me see. Yeah, I think I can even share my screen so we can see how many questions that we have.
I think we have only one or two remaining questions. The other one is like just to update the code.
Yep. I think so. Yeah, let me see. Desktop one. So yeah, you should be able to see the question. So first one is regarding the build system. Okay, about the recursivity on the builds of directories. I think this one we have additional information from Jordan on Slack. So we might need to check it out, that link. So I will ping that here later so we can have a look. Yeah, because I think last time we were not very sure about what was the target of recursivity here, because we have some challenges with Zetalif, if I remember well.
I think it's like, what's the point of that? Like, what if we could understand what risk or they're trying to address, like, because I don't quite like, I don't understand what the problem would be if you did the, like, say if you, like, we have multiple directories, not recursive directories, I guess. But when I read that, it's like recursive is like go into subdirectories, build something, and then go back up and build something. But like, it'd be good to understand what the problem would be if that was done, as well as is that actually the problem? Because
yeah, I think right on that, Jordan provide like a full link to the explanation behind this statement, like what's they trying to prevent. So I will link to that so we can have a better understanding here. So maybe I will do some quotes here just to simplify and see if it makes sense or not. So yeah, maybe we can get a final response on that. Yes, so that one, I think this one is updated, which was like bit-to-bit result, if you remember that one. So yeah, this is only missing to have one issue created, which I think I'm not very sure if it's going to be created by you or by Richard. So I add the commit with the change, but I leave this conversation open until we have the issue, just to don't forget to include it.
So if you open up that 6BB, that's Joey's changes to make things reproducible?
No, that's me saying omit to the
Unmet.
requirement.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, yeah. Today it's unmet, and yeah, okay. Because
Yeah,
there is some work
so
that might change that, but today you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now it's omit, so the idea is to just have the issue. But if you know if there is an issue or already something ongoing, so we can resolve the conversation because technically we respond the question.
Yeah, I think just leaving it as unmet is good.
It's kind
and
of
then,
okay.
Because I think we want to do a number of things. So that I know that Joey was working on something which I don't think is done yet, but even after that's landed, we probably want to end up with some testing or something that makes sure it actually is reproducible, right? Like,
Yep, makes total sense.
so
Okay.
I think just the list that says like here, because probably what will happen is we've gone through and it's like, okay, do we want to work on the admits? Yes. Okay, now let's go back and see what's happening. And
Yeah.
so,
Okay, so I think I will resolve the conversation then. And also let's see later on if when we finish with all the questions, if we pass the scoring, maybe we don't pass. So yeah.
so I guess if it's
okay.
unmet, probably not, right?
Probably not. But yeah, let's see, because not all the questions are negative in the scoring. Some of them are not. So
Okay.
so yeah, this one was about the
this is
software
Matt.
producer. Yeah, TLS, yeah, certifications and so on. I think it's okay then, right? Yeah.
Sure.
I think with the response from Tobias, yeah. So we can just commit the suggestion to meet, and then I think is resolving the conversation automatically. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, next one. There's a different question about TLS as well. Private information.
Yeah, I think this is Matt too.
Yeah, 19% we do think that. Okay, so yeah, this is Meten. I think so. We should wait for Mateo.
No, if they
I
didn't
think...
answer in 2 weeks, I don't think they will answer now.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead with that. Yeah, worst case scenario, we can in the next review refix it. So that's okay. Commit suggested. So yeah, I think that's one. I think that also Jordan, I think, has provided some links explaining this reason behind that. That was the last question. Like what we understand for hardening mechanism, if you remember that one. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have just one issue open?
I think we have only two open, and both Jordan has provided additional information on Slack. So I will try to reply to here and see if I can solve the questions myself. And if that happens, we officially have achieved this. So next step for me is going to be to close the pull request and try to promote that later on the website. So yeah.
Okay.
With Rod. So I will just ping Rod with the final version, and let's see if he can update it, or if they solve the problem with the access already, so any of us can access. But yeah, doesn't matter. Any way or another, we are going to see if we match for the silver. So question here is, should we start thinking on the gold, or we should wait just to see if the silver is passing? Because maybe it doesn't make any sense to jump to the gold if we are not passing already silver.
I think regardless if... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think regardless if we pass on or not in the silver in the first instance, I think we will target to pass it someday.
Yeah.
So I think we should go to the gold anyway.
Okay. It's interesting to have a list like this, like you have, that says met, unmet. Just it helps raise our awareness of like what we are doing, what we're not doing, what we don't want to stop doing, because like, I think it might still be good at some point, like in our contributing guide, to say like, the project values, looking out for these best practices, here are the things that we do. And so that'll trigger the discussion. We might be doing something today that in absence of this, we might stop doing, right? So it'd be good to have that backlink that says, no, we should keep doing this, because if we ever want to get to goal. So.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, maybe we can came up with if it's okay for you, maybe we can came up with a table, with some kind of a statement or reason, simplified, link to the resource, what is affecting and meet or meet, so that way we can mix these kind of best practices with other lists or other initiatives. So we can have all in one place, like reasonings behind some of the stuff that we do, or we try to still be compatible. So
yeah, like here are the things we should keep in place to keep our rating. Like the coverity, make sure we keep coverity going, and it's like that's an example of that broke. If one motivation for keeping it going is definitely the badging, right? So
I will see if we might have some templates that we can reuse from the typical ISO questionnaires review, that you have some kind of tables of the reasons behind stuff. So maybe we can just copy paste the format and customize it for us. Okay, I will add a note later on for that so I don't forget. Okay, fantastic. So that's, I think it's all for the best practices today.
Okay. The next one is the permission model roadmap. I have just 2 updates. A lot of fixes coming out with the last security release, and I'm working on some private work. I can't really share because this can be or not a vulnerability. Anyway, after that, I'm planning to work on path resolve in the C++ side. This will solve a bunch of DX problems, like accepting relative paths in the argument and so on. There also there is a discussion about accepting paths with the comma separator. I think so, and this currently is not supported, but there is a guy from Nearform that is working on an approach to accept as an array instead of a single string and split it. So we should be fine. Yeah, that's all from the permission model. The next one is automate security release process. I did a lot of work on that with the last security release. Basically, I have also shared the task list because the OSS funding was approved for this work. So if someone wants to work on that, feel free to ping me or Michael. I think we need to create a form somehow, right, Michael?
I think what we need to do is like make a statement of work kind of thing, like, and then publish it to say like, okay, anybody who's interested in.
Yeah, but I did it. I sent in the chat.
Right. But that's not that like lists a bunch of different things, right? And there's like a, hey, here's something which people could work on. I guess it's like how we want to handle this. Like a typical procurement process would be, we define very specifically, like, here's what we want somebody to do. And then, people basically say, well, I'm interested in, this is what I would charge. But I don't know if that's what we want to like it's our first time. So like, how would we actually fund a particular piece of work, right? Like your recommendation is that the automation of the release promotion is the piece of work, right? But honestly, we need to get the releasers and the build team to say yes.
Okay.
Right, that first thing, the first thing I think that we need to do next on that one is like get the releasers to say yes. We agree that we want to have these things signed differently. And because I'm not sure if you went to the build team, they would say yes to that. They might not. I just don't know, right?
Okay, so I will try to remember and mention it in the next release working group meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Like if the release working group says yes, this all sounds good, and then probably we'd want to have the build team say yes, we'll support this. Then who's interested in? And I guess it's like, I don't know. Do we figure out what we're willing to pay, or do we ask people what they're going to charge? We kind of got to figure out that process.
Okay. All right, then. I'll try to summarize it somehow. The next one is the assessment against best practice. Basically, is the only active work is the CAI best practice. So that's the end of our agenda.
Yep.
Do you guys want to talk about anything else? No?
No.
No.
So that's out. Thank you, folks, for joining. See you in 2 weeks.